by chapters. Today, we are supposed to start the chapter 10, which talks about the opulences of the Absolute, the opulences of the Supreme Lord. In previous chapters, we've already heard about the most confidential knowledge. For instance, in the previous chapter, we were talking about that. But here, Krishna is going to explain further to Arjuna, to give him more knowledge, a higher type of knowledge. So let us get in the mood of reading this chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we've heard already that Arjuna was instructed by Krishna about the different types of practices that can lead to spiritual, to higher levels of spiritual development. And among all those methods or practices, he mentions that the devotional service is the most powerful. And he, in the previous chapter, explains to Arjuna, gives Arjuna some higher level knowledge. However, here, Krishna continues to instruct Arjuna. This chapter begins by Sri Bhagavan Vacha. It begins with the Krishna telling Arjuna, instructing Arjuna further. But here we also should take into account certain, preconditions. Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture that is written in the first person, because Krishna here is the speaker. He is the Supreme Lord who, here, especially in this chapter, he is talking about himself. He mentions here aham, and we should be understanding this in a proper way, because this aham is sometimes not properly explained by some speculative philosophers. They try to, impersonalize this self. They talk that there is some collective self to which we can also be merged into, but that's not what is meant here. Prabhupada's explanation here comes from out of devotion, and only out of devotion we should look through that prism. We should be listening and studying Bhagavad Gita, taking the words of Krishna for what they are, for the words of a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that gives us a proper attitude and proper understanding. So Krishna starts this 10th chapter by the following words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained." So he wants to give him even more confidential knowledge in this chapter. The word Bhagavan is explained thus by Parashara Muni, one who is full in six opulences, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation is Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why do we need all these explanations? Yeah, because and in previous years, in previous eras, people had they were more religious. They were more following the dharma and had the knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when this knowledge started to diminish, then this necessity emerged that for those who could not see, certain explanation needed to be given. And hence Parashara Muni wrote down, addressing Krishna as Bhagavan, and wrote down this explanation and saying that Krishna is the only one, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who in full is possessing all the six opulences like strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. And of course, all those qualities are very attractive. Some people may also possess the same qualities, but never to the full, and never all the six of them at the same time. While Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all these six opulences. Therefore, great sages like Parashara Muni have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his work. Previously, beginning with this with the seventh chapter, he already explained to Arjuna different energies and how they were acting in. But in this chapter, he is talking about specific opulence. His specific opulence is to Arjuna, uh, and And in this chapter, Krishna will also be speaking about his manifestations uh, uh, and how these opulences are manifested in this material world, which is very important for our understanding because the spiritual concepts or divine concepts are not easily understandable for us because of our limited capacities, like being in the material nature. We already, and being born as humans, we already have faults. Our senses are not perfect. We have limited knowledge. We are prone to make mistakes, to get under the influence of illusion, and we also lie pretty easily. But all that is not a divine quality, and that is a hindrance for us. The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. So we should see this connection. Hearing about God helps us to become fixed in the devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees, however, because thus such interaction will increase our devotional service. And so the discussions or discourses about Krishna can take place proper discourses only among devotees and with those people who are anxious to hear about Krishna and Krishna consciousness. The others might not be interested. Non-devotees mean the atheists. They are not interested in listening about God. So it is very, again, here Prabhupada emphasizes that in order to hear about Krishna, we have to associate with his devotees. Neither the hosts of demigods, nor the great sages, know my origin or opulence, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. It's also a very significant verse. Here, Krishna tells Arjuna that there are all the demigods and all the great sages, which play quite a prominent role in this creation. Like the great sages, they participate in implementing certain, stages of creation. The demigods are put in charge of controlling this, not controlling, in also in implementing the worldly world. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I will rephrase. Demigods are in charge of like different ministries, in charge of different departments of this creation. But here he says that none of them, irrespective of their such an elevated nature, uh, know him because uh, he is the source of all them, and he provides everything to them, including the knowledge. He further, Krishna says, but he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Here, Krishna clearly indicates the connection between the knowledge and understanding of him, or he says that a deluded or a person who is under illusion, he is always also a person under illusion cannot see clearly, and thus he is prone to engage in sinful activities. So these sinful activities and this illusion keeps him attached in that condition. So he is not free. Only if one can step outside of this illusion and become free from his sins, can have the knowledge, can understand the knowledge about the Supreme Personality. And only such a mind is capable of understanding him as unknown, unborn, and having no beginning. Further, Krishna, in this next verse, Krishna says quite an interesting thing. Listen, intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infame. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Here, Krishna says that he is behind of all this listed in this verse, which actually are created by him. Yeah. How can, well, this creation of something is understandable to us because human beings are also uh, engaged in creation. They can create certain things. But all those things that are created by humankind, it is based on already existing elements. We come to this world which already exists. Uh, But how can we create, for instance, fearlessness or austerity or charity? Uh, this does not, none of the earthly sciences provide any explanation of that. Earthly or material science is not capable of understanding even where the elements are coming from. So they are not capable of um, understanding where those qualities are coming from, how these qualities can be created. And Krishna here straightforwardly explains to us that he is behind all that. He is the creator of these qualities. The purport in purport, Prabhupada gives a better, more detailed explanation of all that qualities, and but we, due to the lack of time, will not dive into that. You can read that at a later stage if you get more interested. Further, Krishna says the seven great sages, and before them, the four other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. Here, there is also a very important distinguishment between um, our capacities and the capacities that those great minds are possessing. Krishna says that he, out of his mind, from his mind, gives birth to all the, he gave birth to all those great sages, four Kumaras, seven great sages, the Manus, and everybody. Uh, and for us, that should be probably easily understandable, because even in our everyday activities, in order to do something, we have first to think about that, but then we have to employ some other, living entities or other materials in order to implement or to give birth to our ideas and thoughts. And similarly, Krishna is creating this world by his mind, creating all these living entities by his mind. Similarly, like we, well, out of, and he's goes through his mind, he is simply thinking, and these living entities are creating all the through his instruction all these universes, like we are created by our parents, uh, but the parents, they don't know what kind of human beings we will be, whether even they don't know what our sex. They are just they instruments in that process. So similarly, Krishna uses these sages and all the manus, demigods, as instruments of this creation. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and my mystic power, and mystic power of my engages in unalloyed devotional service. For this, there is no doubt. Um, that's also an important thing. Yeah, if we do not understand all that opulences, of course we are full of doubts. But if uh, we come to understand that Krishna is the source of everything, or what kind of mystic powers and opulences he possesses, we immediately become, such a knowledge changes our attitude towards the life, and we become unalloyed devotees. We engaged in an unalloyed devotion, and thus all the doubts disappear. And this is like an unavoidable truth. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds, continues Krishna. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So such a knowledge so enlightens people. Can you imagine? Not can you imagine, but realizing only that fact that Krishna is everything. He is source of both spiritual and material worlds, that everything is coming from him, emanates from him. Um, our hearts will be cleaned so much that this worship and love for him will naturally manifest from it. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive greatest satisfaction and bliss from always engaging one another on and conversing about me. So a person, a soul that reaches that level of pure devotional service, he, it does not mean that he stops to serve Krishna. Such a person is getting uh, more and more bliss through enlightening each other, or through talking about Krishna to the similar minds, and thus enlightening and helping each other. And here Krishna also shows us what satisfies him. Yeah, if when devotees are engaged in such services, that uh, gives them the great satisfaction. But we should remember that everything is provided by Krishna. So this great satisfaction um, is also given to them by Krishna. And that satisfaction and bliss is very different from what we can understand as satisfaction in this material world, because some people enjoy very much drugs and alcohol and consider that this is the biggest satisfaction. But the true satisfaction lies completely in a different sphere. Here we can recall how Prabhupada's first disciples, when he went to America, who were his first disciples? Those were hippies who were quite aware of such intoxicative satisfactions, for instance. And they once asked him, no, not asked, but asked what is, how could they understand um, uh, this satisfaction? And Krishna, well, so, pardon, Prabhupada told them, well, he made the comparison of what the bliss they can achieve through devotional service with LSD, and to give them a proper understanding of that, or not proper, but understand, to provide that to them in a comprehensible manner. He said that Krishna consciousness that can be compared to the room of full of LSDs, how much satisfaction that could give them, and realizing that but that can be given only through conversing about Krishna. That can be achieved through devotional service and Krishna Gatha. That's how Prabhupada gave them this taste, and that's how they got convinced, and they renounced very easily their addictions and started to follow all the four regulative principles and became uh, most of them became pure devotees. So to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. And that's also an important verse. Krishna mentioned in this fifth or verse that he is the source of everything and all the qualities and so on, but he and intelligence included. But here he says that what kind of intelligence we get depends on him. So if we are constantly devoted to serving Krishna with love, he gives us the intelligence to understand him. If we are not devoted and we are not eager to serve, our intelligence will be covered. We will not be able to understand Krishna. To show the special mercy, Krishna talks here about his devotees. I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So this is how Krishna uh, provides intelligence to the living entities. He provides it opens it up from in their hearts. And here Krishna compares this knowledge to a lamp that um, breaks the darkness of ignorance. That's how we overcome the ignorance. Here, Arjuna, having heard that, tells Krishna. He starts to praise Krishna. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original. No, before we get there, I wanted to talk about the purport, about this previous verse to where Krishna uh, tells how he is destroying the ignorance in our hearts. Uh, in the purport, um, Prabhupada starts purport with the following words. When Lord Chaitanya was in Benares promulgating this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the thousands of people were following him. Prakashananda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at that time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is held by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. In other words, here, Prabhupada shows us that even what Lord Chaitanya manifested actually, that in order to progress in Krishna consciousness or to advance in understanding the Lord, it's not necessary to be a philosopher or a very learned scholar or have some, preliminary background in that. What is necessary and actually quite sufficient is that we are sincere uh, in our service, and we serve. Could you hear me? Because there was an interruption in the internet. Okay. So uh, um, let's carry on then. So uh, that Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Head, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirmed this truth about you, and now yourself are declaring it to me." Arjuna started to praise Krishna here, and he also shows that he theoretically he knew all that Krishna was describing uh, in previous verses from different sages and from scriptures, but here Krishna confirmed to him the same. "O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons or Lord can understand your personality." So here Arjuna uh, confirms that only Krishna can completely understand himself as a personality, but none of the demons are not capable of doing that. Demons, he mentions demons as well, because demons can also be quite intelligent. In um, uh, the intelligence can have different, can can be manifested in different ways, like demons may be quite good in sciences and mm, but nevertheless, whatever they investigate or whatever they research, they cannot they cannot go beyond material understanding. All that they can investigate in this material world are these um, coverings of material energy, the external energy of Krishna that um, um, hides Krishna from our understanding. So thus they are not capable of understanding Krishna and his potencies. Uh, Arjuna further asks here, Krishna, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. O Krishna, O supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O supreme personality of Godhead? O Janardana, or again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So here Arjuna is posing a very important questions, which will be very helpful for us in our development. Yeah, he asks, how should I, in this material um, reality, uh, how can I always think about you, and how can I know you? What different forms should I remember thinking of you? And he also asks him to uh, enlighten him further in detail uh, how he can he see his mystic power in this material world. How is that manifested in this material world? And here in this verse 18, Arjuna says that he is never satiated in hearing about him. For the more he hears, he wants to hear more. This shows that Arjuna is already in Arjuna's consciousness is already elevated to such a state that Krishna is describing uh, earlier in this chapter. To this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead had said, yes, I will tell you my splendorous manifestations, but only those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Here, Krishna is ready to open to Arjuna in the knowledge about his opulences, but he says that only of some of them, because his opulences are limitless, and neither Arjuna nor anybody in this material world will be capable of comprehending certain opulences of Krishna. So we can understand only to the extent we have the capacity. Krishna continues, I am the super soul, Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all things. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Here, mm, uh, and further on, we should understand that what Krishna says here is how we will be able to understand his presence in this world, in this material world. He manifests in this material world as Vishnu, who is the highest from 12 Adityas. He is like radiant sun, and he is among stars, he is the moon. Let us very attentively follow that verses and try to remember them, because that is how we can uh, uh, see the manifestation of Krishna. First of all, we can hear about that, and from hearing, we can develop this capacity of recognizing in other words, seeing Krishna's presence everywhere in this material world. Let's carry on. Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra. Of the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, or the consciousness. Of all Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. Mountain Meru is the very uh, important mountain, is the like the Mm, it runs through the entire creation. That's Krishna. That's how he is manifested. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa, and of immovable things, I am Himalayas. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Of horses, know me to be Uchai Rava, sorry for pronunciation, produced during the churning of the ocean of nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarch. Yeah, the monarch, the king is supposed to be the manifestation of the Lord. However, it's difficult to say about the contemporary kings, because they are mm, so they have so much deviated from dharma. Um, of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the surabhi. Of causes for procreation, I am Gandharva, the god of love. Uh, that means that Krishna, in the manifestation of the god of love, is mm, um, controlling the attraction between the opposite sexes. So it is impossible to overcome that on your own. Because that's Krishna himself. Uh, the only those who are engaged in devotional service and are elevated in that practice can refrain from this attraction between sexes. Uh, the other living entities, for the other living entities, it's not accessible. They cannot overcome that attraction. And of all serpents, I am Vasuki. Of the many-hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama, and among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. See, Krishna is manifested even among the demons as Prahlada. Such is his mm, mysterious power. Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapon, I am Rama. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am Ganges. Sorry. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle of the Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Uh, Mind here that the spiritual science is, as Krishna is indicating here, is the supreme science, the spiritual science of self, is the supreme science, and it is him himself. And in logicians, he is the conclusive truth. It means that if the logic is not leading us to Krishna, then it is futile, because conclusive truth is only Krishna. Of letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. Means that there is always a relationship between God and his and the soul. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principles of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadiness, and patience. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sama, and of the poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashirsha, November, December, and of seasons, I am flower during spring. And it's true, if Krishna is the source of our senses, spring revives our senses. So here we are. Krishna is spring for us. I am also the gambling of chiefs and the splendid, uh, and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. We can see how diverse Krishna is. He is manifested in everything in this creation. All the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Can you imagine? Imagine what Arjuna is feeling? Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Among all the means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Uh, this is also very important, yeah, no, for our understanding, or like an evidence that for us, clear evidence that Krishna is the supreme and the creator and the source of everything. He says that he is the generating seed of all existence. The seed, actually, uh, um, scientists are trying to, imitate, and they even succeed in duplicating, creating certain things is in this universe, but never, they can never come up with the seed. They can never create a seed because Krishna is generating those seeds. Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestation. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Here, Krishna says that whatever he already uh, disclosed uh, uh, here is just uh, a mere indication of his opulence, which is boundarless, it's infinite, and it's endless. No, not that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creatures spring from, but a spark of my splendor. So we should understand that even if we gather all the most opulent, beautiful, and glorious um, uh, creations into one, uh, all that will be just a spark of Krishna's splendor. But Krishna finishes this chapter with the following word. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So Krishna thus shows that it's futile to, um, to try to understand all the detail of this creation and why these things are that way, because it doesn't really lead you to the proper understanding. With the final phrase here, Krishna says that with just a single fragment of himself, he is pervading and maintaining this entire creation. So if that is just a fragment, it's impossible to imagine the entire capacity of Krishna. Yeah. So this is it. This is a very important chapter that will help us in understanding how we should be um, seeing Krishna in this material world. He listed here all his manifestations, and seeing that manifestations, we can always remind ourselves that that is Krishna, and that will help us to um, if we're not engaged yet in devotional service, to become more attracted by devotional service. That is the sole means through which we can achieve Krishna consciousness and get back to the Godhead, get back to Him, to His abode. So this is it. I think we managed today to finish reading. Uh, so do do we have any questions or any comments? I would like you to, become more active, because it's not like to give some feedback about your understanding of these things, because just reading is not sufficient. We need to have gatha, as Krishna tells us in this chapter. He emphasizes that. discussing Krishna is very important. Of course, attentively listening is one part of that process, but however, um, checking your understanding is not a bad thing either. So here to talk to you. Yes, Disha, please.
Hey Krishna Mataji, thank you for this lecture.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I have a question. Like, uh, as we are like practicing to be into Krishna consciousness, like whenever something good happens with me, we think that yes, this is coming from Krishna. But if the same things comes from like if something happens bad, then we don't think that it's coming from Krishna. Like how we can develop that mood that this suffering or this bad things, whatever is happening, it's also coming from Krishna.
Just a second. I will use my, because I cannot hear well what you're saying. Sorry for interrupting you. I will use my headphones to hear you better. Okay, please repeat your question. I'm sorry.
Okay, so whenever something good happens, we say thank you to Krishna or we believe that it's coming from Krishna. But if same something bad or sufferings comes, then we like how we can develop the mood or accept that it's also coming from Krishna
Yeah.
or like, it's Krishna's
Well,
will.
it's Krishna's. Uh, actually, the bad things that come to us, it's not Krishna's will. It's our karma. And the karma is not just the things that we do. It's actually the uh, our uh, way of thinking. Yeah, this also creates karma, and we um, uh, due to karma, due to way we think, we generate this happiness or distresses in our life. Uh, and however, this all, the entire material creation is created in a manner for us to mm, understand this connection. Yeah, we through our if we are not seeking knowledge, if we are not learning scriptures and not following that, uh, through our experiences, we can also come up to this understanding, but of course with Krishna's help. So Krishna is behind everything, and if he sees sincerity in our heart, he gives us the intelligence. If we start thinking that, well, or what is just the good is just Krishna, and what bad is happening, it's not Krishna, uh, we are not properly understanding the position of the material creation. Yeah, but if in this world, if I maybe in this life I'm already uh, doing some pious acts, but still my karma from previous lives is not exhausted. So some distress may come from the as the seeds of previous karma. And apart from that, uh, uh, what is the purpose of our life? We are here to revive our Krishna's consciousness, to revive our divinity. Since we are souls, and uh, the souls are Satchitananda, they are eternal, they never die. Uh, we, under this illusion of death and birth and death, goes through certain experiences that sober us up in a sense. Yeah, because the soul, our heart knows somewhere deep inside that this distressful or suffering state is not a true state of ours. Uh, but still, uh, we are clinging to our identity as this body. All this suffering is linked to that mindset. If I consider myself as a body, I will be very unhappy with the fact that I have to die. Yeah. And if I am supposed here to develop my Krishna consciousness actually in this chapter we read all these qualities that Krishna created. Yeah, we have to acquire all this quality, not acquire, but to reveal them in ourselves. And how we can reveal that? Only through going through certain circumstances where we can either opt to, you know, uh, develop or to manifest that quality to or to opt to become to stay in our bodily concept. Well, that's too superficial, I guess. Sorry for that. Let us try to go through some, examples to make it more understandable. Uh, if I am always in a good and comfortable state, I mean, in this material world, I will never think about uh, spiritual development. So the distress and unhappiness breaks this attachment and gives the soul the indicates to the necessity to look for other ways of satisfaction because material world never provides lasting satisfaction. It is incapable of giving us the proper happiness. And when we go through this distress, we should not think that, uh, well, I am punished by Krishna. Quite on the contrary, this distress or uh, uh, a difficult situation may be the important impulse that can change our consciousness, that can revive our true nature in us. So, and if you start looking at things like that, then this distress or this unhappiness starts to loses its influence on us. I will, it will provide, it will, we will become like Queen Kunti. We will ask Krishna to send more and more so that we can grow more and more. I don't know whether I have clearly explained that, but did I answer to your question, Tisha?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. You
Thank
gave me
you.
so much clarity.
Thank you very much.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, you were okay. So, well, now this is it. Thank you very much for attending and see you next time. The next meeting will be with Nanda Priya Prabhu on Monday. He will continue reading chapter 11 for you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.